How many hamburgers have you eaten this week? Did you know that eating that red meat puts you at a greater risk of developing heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, and ultimately puts you at a greater risk of death? Think about that as I tell you why I chose to stop eating red meat. No matter who you are, you eat to survive. People eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. A lot of people in the United States include red meat in almost every meal. This is a way I can share with others the reason for my personal choice to stop eating red meat. I'm a health and exercise science major, and I have taken many health and nutrition classes. My personal choice resulted from my previous interest in health when I was a lot younger, but as I grew older, I became more knowledgeable. I was able to back up my choice with solid facts. I have continued to find further information discouraging the consumption of red meat through research to further reinforce my choice. If you're conscientious about your health, or if you are debating the decision of becoming a vegetarian or vegan, here are my reasons for choosing to stop eating red meat. Red meat is linked to multiple health risks. The appearance, texture, taste are all dissatisfying, and animal cruelty is appalling. Firstly, eating red meat directly correlates to health risks. A research team at Harvard School of Public Health in 2012 concluded that eating red meat puts you at a greater risk of developing heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, and ultimately puts you at a greater risk of death. This is because meat contains high amounts of saturated fat and cholesterol, and by consuming this red meat, it becomes linked with the risk of colon and rectal cancer. The heme iron in it is found naturally, but it is a risk factor of type 2 diabetes. Processed meat also contains high added amounts of sodium and nitrates. The sodium can increase blood pressure, which risks stroke and heart disease, and nitrates can damage blood vessels, enabling an insulin response. It is also interesting to see that this was quoted within the article and the study. Adults who ate the most red meat tended to exercise less, smoke and drink more alcohol, and have a greater body mass index than those who ate less. There are healthy alternatives to eating healthier proteins. This includes fish, poultry, nuts, legumes, and plants. They're all healthier options and sources for protein. Personally, if I do eat meat, I eat lean meats. I eat chicken and seafood. I also eat a lot of soy products such as soy milk and edamame, and I'm a big fan of peanut butter, so I include that in a lot of my meals and snacks. And these alternatives are all linked with a lower risk of mortality. The second reason I don't eat red meat is because the appearance, texture, and taste of red meat are all dissatisfying. Pink slime, and this is a quote, is a meat additive that contains fatty bits of leftover meats that's heated, spun to remove fat, and then treated with ammonia gas to kill bacteria. I found that in an article, and it also said that it is sent to grocery stores and meat packers where it is introduced to 70% of ground beef that we all consume. Well, personally, not me, but the rest of you. And in that, the ammonia treatment is making food susceptible to pathogens which can enter your body and ultimately your home. The appearance and texture of all red meat is unappealing to me, and the taste of all red meat is way below satisfactory, or rather disgusting in my opinion. The third reason I don't eat red meat is because animal cruelty is appalling. It is easy to forget how the meat on your plate got there and that it was once a living animal. Animals endure being locked in cages that are very tiny. They are not given pain relief when their parts of the body are cut off. Animals are forced through genetic modification to grow obese and ultimately struggle through life. And animals suffer through pain in the process. So healthier protein options, as I said earlier, can come from plants, and they do not require pain or torture. Overall, choosing to cut red meat out of your diet is a big step, but it may be for the best. Eating red meat increases your risk of health issues, is unappealing in appearance, texture, and taste, as well as causes animal cruelty. I've cut it out of my diet easily and successfully, and I've benefited from it ever since. Whether you debate that eating red meat is healthy and that humans have been doing it for a very long time, take into consideration these negatives of consuming red meat. Consult a doctor or dietitian for more information on healthy protein alternatives and how cutting red meat out of your diet can benefit you. Before eating red meat, think twice and live longer.